Hello, everybody! It's me again, Liam, and I'm once again here by joined by Fish and Chips Pstar 7.
Hi everyone.
And today's video, we'll be rewriting Transformers 1.
Yeah,
This is the start of the Transformers rewrite series, and this will continue until Transformers 6.
yeah.
Okay, let's get into the story, shall we?
hmm
Now, the point is simple. We have to take turns reading.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie begins the way it did with the whole before time began, there was the cube. You get the point.
hmm
Okay, okay, sorry for the distraction. I was just trying to find Transformers 2007. Alright, now back onto the story.
Okay. And about sort of. Okay, so we did cut to the. Okay, so then we cut to the war on Cybertron, just like a Bumblebee with the and we're using the G1 design.
Yes, we can see we get introduced to Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Ironhide, Ratchet in this scene. As Optimus Prime is sending Bumblebee, to Earth along with RC, who will be played by Megan Fox in the rewrite. And of course, Chris Evans will voice Bumblebee, while Ironhide Ratchet would stay with Optimus. And then Bumblebee and RC then leave Cybertron. And then
Yeah.
we cut to present day. We get the same attack sequence, but here's a difference. No Blackout. We have Soundwave, Swift, who will serve as a replacement for Blackout, and Barricade crashing the base.
Yeah.
Now the question is, who will voice Swift?
Um. Probably.
Swift's a girl.
Probably. Yes.
Leave us your thoughts on who should voice Swift in the comments below. We get the same crazy attack sequence with more destruction!
Yeah.
Alright, continue the story from there.
And so we did cut. The sandwich wiki, but this time of the rewrite, his name is Spike.
Yes! And we will be omitting Mrs. Witwicky out of the picture. She is dead!
Yeah.
And the question is, how did she die?
She well, she probably died of an unknown illness.
Yes! We introduced Spike the same way he was introduced in the actual movie.
Yeah.
Continue the story from there.
This project will be about his grandfather Archibald Witwicky. And about after school, cut to him walking to his father, Sparkplug's auto body, where he meets his father's Sparkplug. I'm a raw Wiki, but this time is rewrite. And his name will be Sparkplug.
Yes!
I was now retired from the military. And spent his retirement years working on automobiles.
And of course, we get the whole same scene with the car in the car shop.
Yeah. I was Bobby Bolivia. With Bobby Bolivia, but this time in this rewrite, he's an Empire Raw owner and Sparkplug's old friend.
Yes! And here, we get a scene with Soundwave, Barricade, spying on Spike.
Yeah.
And then they leave to see what is above the sky. It is the Nemesis!
Yeah. Yes.
And out comes Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
Continue the story.
And my Starscream. Starscream will talk to Starscream will talk to Soundwave, Barricade, and Swift they hacked for the military base. And it once regarded the Allspark and Megatron. And Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons, who went missing years after trying to search for the Allspark.
Starscream would then have Swift, Barricade, and Soundwave come aboard the Nemesis. Here, we would get introduced to Wreckage,
Yes.
who was one of the cut characters from the movie, along with Soundwave and RC. We then cut to a scene with Bumblebee and RC as they get a message from Optimus saying they need to find two human beings named Spike and Carly. Bumblebee and RC would then split to find the two human beings.
Yeah.
Bumblebee would hand the Beetle like in Bumblebee, and RC would scan a pink motorcycle.
Yeah.
And here, our human cast will be Spike, Chip, Elise, Kicker, and Carly.
Yeah.
Continue the story from there.
And in my wellness, and in my wellness rewrite, Carly will be played by
Rosie Hewitton Whitley.
No, not her. Well, no, not her, but Emma Stone instead.
Okay. I'd still go with Rosie Hewitton Whitley, but we're having Dave Franco play Chip. Kicker has the same actor as Trent DeMarco, and Elise will be played by Waka Flina, and Carly still has the same actress from Transformers 3.
Yeah.
And of course, we get a scene where Carly finds the pink motorcycle, which happens to be RC. They then have their first interaction, and then Spike would buy the Beetle, and he doesn't know that's Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Now, we then get a little scene with Starscream.
I'm going to see Dave cut the Starscream on the Nemesis, who meets with this mysterious shadow figure sitting on a phone. Starscream informs his master, the Fallen, that they've located the old spark on Earth and that Soundwave is tracked yet. In this rewrite, we will add Cybertronian. We will add Cybertronian language. Which will add a bit of world building opportunity of to learn about Cybertron's lost culture.
Yes.
The follower will ask Starscream about the rumors involving Megatron. At first, Starscream pretends to be ignorant about the discovery. The Fallen, who is clearly weak, is fooled. The Fallen that uses his telekinetic powers to put pain on Starscream, ordering him to diverge the truth, which Starscream reveals. The Fallen then orders Starscream to go to Earth with a battalion of Decepticons to retrieve the old spark and Megatron. If he returns empty-handed, Starscream will pay with his life.
Starscream then accepts. In this scene, we would also get introduced to Thundercracker and Skywarp, who are also cut from the movie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Soundwave and Barricade go after Spike and Carly, and then Bumblebee and RC come to save the day.
Yeah.
And the fight scene between Barricade and Bumblebee almost happens the same. And we have RC teaming up to also take on Soundwave.
Yeah.
And of course, in this scene, we get to see Frenzy, Ravage, and Laserbeak.
Yeah.
Who will replace Scorponok in the latter two will replace Scorponok in the rewrites.
Yeah.
Continue.
And after the fight, Bumblebee and RC will introduce themselves to Spike and Carly. and they take them and they take them to be optimists. They're one will remain the same, except Megatron's motivation is slightly altered in this rewrite.
Yes.
Everyone wanted the old spark to use it to turn Earth machines into more Decepticons. Megatron wants to use it to revive Cybertron, which was destroyed at the cost of their war.
Yes, and of course in this scene, we also get introduced to Prowl, played by Paul Walker, who is also cut from the movie.
Yes.
And of course, we would get a flashback scene of Optimus Prime and Elita 1, and Elita 1 here would be played by Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
This would be about a 5-minute scene.
Yeah.
And of course, Spike suggests that they should introduce the Autobots to Kicker, the school bully, Chip, his best friend, and Elise, Chip's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then they decide to agree. Meanwhile, aboard the Nemesis, the Decepticons decide to argue on whether what the Fallen says is the right thing or not.
Yeah.
Let's see how the scene plays out, shall we?
Yeah.
Take over.
What?
I said take over.
Okay. What are we going to do?
We should
What?
go on.
And what are we going to do? We don't even know if Lord Megatron is still alive.
He could still be alive. I know it.
He can't be alive. He must went offline eons ago.
But Starscream, he's still alive.
No, he is not. Megatron is offline. Terminated.
Soundwave would then,
Myself.
and then Soundwave would smack Starscream across the face and call Starscream hypocrite, and then show Starscream that Megatron is frozen.
Yes, he is still alive. He's frozen.
We need to break him out at once.
Yes. Where is he frozen at?
He's frozen at Sector 7.
Sector 7.
Yes.
We must tell the Fallen. We must tell the Fallen.
All right. The next morning, Spike would wake up, and Chip would go inside of Bumblebee. After we get introduced to Chip, we get introduced to Elise and Kicker. We then get the Kicker and Spike. We get this whole fight scene with everyone chanting till they are stopped. And Kicker would reveal to Spike that he blackmailed Carly a long time ago, and he has found himself a red pickup truck. And that happens to be Ironhide. Chip finds a silver, and Elise happened to find a silver Porsche. That, of course, being Jazz.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they break up, and then we cut to the whole scene with the whole annoyed parent scene, except the Ironhide and Jazz want to terminate the neighbors, not Sparkplug.
Yeah.
Here, we get to learn why they're not attacking Sparkplug. We get a flashback sequence to where they scan their vehicle modes.
Yeah.
Thanks to Sparkplug. And then, movie happens the same, and the Sector 7 scene happens too! Except we get rid of that! You see where Bumblebee pees on Simmons, ew! That's gross! Instead, Bumblebee would nearly shoot Simmons, till he, RC, Carly, and Spike are all captured!
Yeah.
Therefore, Optimus, Prowl, Ratchet, and Ironhide, as well as Jazz, are all by themselves.
Yeah.
Continue the story. As you can tell, I am sorry to sound like Stitch Together Productions.
Okay. And meanwhile, meanwhile we cut to Spike, Carly, and the others at Sector 7. Uh, uh, other word are told about Spike's grandfather, Archibald Woodward, and they discover Megatron, and that they also have the old Spark.
Which happens to capture the attention of the Decepticons, which they don't know.
Yeah. And meanwhile, at the observatory, Optimus, Sparkplug, and the Autobots are now talking about how the glasses are thinking about whether they should rescue Spike, Carly, and the others. I'm a one life on the entire planet. Optimus begins to contemplate whether shooting the old Spark in the space was a wise decision. This old did was just spark Cybertron's war to other planets. And I'm optimist in the code the coordinates of the coordinates of the old Spark. And about Ratchet, and about Ratchet State, and I'm optimist to talk about if there's no other choice, and that means he'll sacrifice himself to destroy the old Spark, which Ratchet states that the cube is raw power, it could destroy them both. I'm an optimist that states that their people had a chance to live and squandered it. And then they go to rescue Carly, Spike and Carly and the others.
Prowl decides to transform just so he can be C. Himmons's pickup vehicle, in which C. Himmons would get inside of Prowl, and he doesn't know that this is Prowl, just a police car.
Yeah.
And then we get a scene where Einhai would introduce himself to Kicker, and Jazz introduce himself to Chip and Elise.
Yeah.
And then Chip, Kicker, and Elise would decide to go rescue Spike, Carly, and the others.
Yeah.
Now to Sector 7.
Yeah. And Megatron's release at the hands of Frenzy still remains the same. That Frenzy is killed by Sector 7, 87. And then my Sparkplug arrives with the Autobots, and Sparkplug gets to relive his past by joining the Sector 7 agents. And the Autobots plan, to take the All Spark to a more secure location. I thought rather than have the All Spark taken to the sea, where lives of thousands of millions could be in danger. The Autobots decided to take it back to the desert, to the desert where they landed for their pods. And then they plan to take the All Spark with them into space to keep it away from the Decepticons.
Of course. Go on.
Meanwhile, I'm optimistic about Megatron's release. For Sector 7 ICOM, they leave Ironhide in charge until he returns. While he goes to confront Megatron. Megatron reunites with the Decepticons and learns about the Autobots' plan with the old Spark.
Here. Go on.
And about one before he leaves him on a hunt for the wild, Optimus did arrive. A truck arrives and lands until it transforms into the Optimus Prime. And Megatron tells his henchmen to go hunt down the old Spark while he deals with Prime. And Megatron flies out to confront Prime. Here's how it goes. So, it's been a long time, old friend.
It has. It has.
It has been a long time since you're still functioning.
Also here, Megatron will be played by the legendary Frank Welker instead of Hugo Weaving, because Hugo Weaving will be voicing the Fallen.
Yeah.
Here.
And about Optimus and Megatron that crash on the crash of Hoover Dam, which is a direct homage to the G1 episode, Murder Meets the Eye Part 2.
Yes, here. The Autobots would go up against the other Decepticons And it's a pretty big fight.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm gonna fight. The fight will happen mostly the same. But this time with the desert catching fire, the gunfire between Babylonians.
Oh, we get some human casualties.
Yeah.
They would then escape, and then the scene where Bone Crusher attacks would be the same, except Bone Crusher would be replaced with Wreckage.
Yeah.
And the fight between Wreckage and Optimus would be the same, although Wreckage was cut from the movie. And then Optimus kills Wreckage after slicing his arm. And then we cut to the Battle of Chicago!
Well, this won't be the Battle of Chicago. This is really not the Battle of Chicago. This is really the Battle of the Desert instead.
The desert, like in Transformers 2?
The desert for the studio's rewrite.
Oh yeah! Sorry! I miscalculated that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's begin the final battle, shall we?
Yeah. Autobots, hand over the old spot to us.
Why should I?
Because think about it. If we work together, Cybertron will be restored.
I can't let you do that.
Why not?
Freedom is the right for all sentient beings.
Yes. And because, Megatron, if you use it to revive Cybertron, you will take advantage of the planet's renewal to promote yourself as the planet's new hero, while you simultaneously blame me and the other Autobots and war criminals.
And then Megatron will be like, such heroic nonsense. And then the two would clash. Here, we get a scene between Prowl and Barricade as they fight. And Prowl was forced to make the decision to kill Barricade because here, they were old friends. And Prowl had no decision but to kill Barricade. Here, Swift would also perish by being killed by Ratchet and Ironhide. Starscream would blow up one of Bumblebee's legs, and then we get RC and Starscream fight. And it's insane!
Yeah.
Continue!
And then my Megatron will join too, and they grab Bumblebee by the throat and say, so, just like old times, you found a way to restore your vocal processor. However, I will not allow myself to make the same mistake of how you function. So then Megatron then claws his hand into B's chest where our voice box all over again.
Then we get a scene with Jazz taking on Thundercracker and Skywarp. He easily takes out Skywarp, but Thundercracker outmatches Jazz.
Yeah.
And then Spike and Chip would come across Megatron.
Yeah.
Chip thinks this is a bad idea, and then they caught Megatron's attention, and Megatron tries to go after Chip and Spike. However, we get Jazz versus Megatron, but Jazz loses the fight because he dies the same way he died.
Yeah.
Go on.
And my Jazz will still suffer the same death like he did. And then after this shows up to confront Megatron for another rematch. And he'll say that thing like he did in the original film, like, at the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
And Megatron will be like, why throw your life so recklessly?
That's a question you should be asking yourself, Megatron.
No! I'll crush you with my bare hands! And then we get a G1 movie style scene. Sam thinks that he should put the Allspark into Spike thinks he should put the Allspark into Optimus. RC thinks this is a bad idea because if Alita 1 were to come to Earth, what would she think about it? Spike is like, oh yeah, you're right. I need to think of something.
Yeah.
Chip and Spike then come up with an idea.
Yeah.
And basically, they say, as long as Optimus is distracting Megatron, this might give them enough time to stop Megatron.
Yeah.
Go on.
And then they hand the Allspark to Optimus, who shoves it into Megatron's chest, and energy oozes out of his chest. But it won't kill Megatron because of this rewrite. We're sparing Megatron because killing off the main villain in the franchise is unpredictable, and will only make the death cheapen.
Yes. Go on.
Until the time is right for their demise.
And here, Allspark shards would be shattered.
Yeah.
And Megatron would be limping away, as Starscream and Soundwave would come to his aid, along with Thundercracker and Skywarp.
Yeah.
And then the Nemesis comes, and then Megatron vows that he will have his revenge one day.
Yeah.
And then...
and then Optimus collapses to the ground after exhaustion.
And then we come aboard the Nemesis.
Yeah.
Go on.
Our Megatron, Starscream, Starwave, I will meet with the Fallen, who welcomes Megatron back to the fold, and Starscream apologizes about not retrieving the Allspark. But Megatron tells the Fallen that in the fall days of the war, he conjured up a contingency plan to restore Cybertron in case that the Allspark cannot be retrieved.
The Fallen would then suggest that his next plan would be to destroy the sun with the Star Harvester.
Yeah.
And then we end the movie about the same, but here we have a funeral for Jazz before we close out the movie the way it did.
Yeah.
And here we get a scene where Kicker and Spike forgive each other, and they're now on good terms.
Yeah.
And then we got the whole, what I've done, I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. And that's the rewrite.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you all enjoy this rewrite, because my next rewrite will be... what I meant to say was, the next rewrite will be Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Now, before I begin the rewrite, there will be a very big beginning about some original plan I had. But anyways, stay tuned for the Spider-Man 3 rewrite soon enough.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay tuned.